Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Enjoy the listening. The war was almost over. Then humanity's battleship appeared. The unexpected defenders, the Maraxian defense fleet, died in silence. Admiral Trax watched in horror as his command vessel's sensors registered the obliteration of 17 capital ships, over 40,000 of his people, without so much as a distress call. The Void Dominion warships had emerged from hyperspace with precision that defied conventional physics, their obsidian hulls absorbing all light and scanner waves alike. The attack was methodical, brutal, and completely unstoppable. "We've lost the eternal light and the dawnard," his tactical officer reported, voice trembling. "The colony's orbital defenses are failing." Tax's facial scales flattened against his skull, a gesture of deep distress among his species. The Maraxians had been part of the Galactic coalition for over 3 centuries, their world a haven for science and art. Now they would become yet another conquest of the relentless Void Dominion, their people either slaughtered, or worse, reprocessed into the Dominion's grotesque war machines. "Send the emergency beacon," Trax ordered. "Full spectrum, all coalition frequencies." It was a futile gesture. The nearest coalition response fleet was at least 2 days away, and by then Maraxio would be lost. The tactical officer complied, but then paused, antenna twitching in confusion. "Admiral, I'm detecting an unknown vessel approaching from Vector 73. It's not broadcasting any coalition identification codes, Dominion reinforcements." "No, sir." "The energy signature is? I've never seen anything like it." The main view screen shifted to show a vessel unlike any in known space, where coalition ships favored elegant organic curves and Dominion vessels were angular and threatening. This newcomer was a study in functional brutalism, a massive rectangular hull, bristling with what could only be weapon systems. Its surface, scarred and pitted in places, suggested it had seen combat before. No aesthetic considerations, no concessions to form over function. "What is that?" Tra whispered. The vessel accelerated toward the Dominion fleet with a burst of speed that seemed impossible for something of its size. Before Tra could process what was happening, space itself seemed to ripple around the unknown ship, and then the Dominion vessels began to die. Admiral Helena Frost stood on the bridge of the UES Thunderchild, Earth's first and only interstellar battleship. At 53, with steel-gray hair cropped close to her skull and eyes the color of a winter sky, she had spent 30 years in Earth's naval forces before being selected to command humanity's bold venture into the stars. "All stations, combat status," she ordered, her voice calm despite the tension that hung in the air. "Weapons control, designate primary targets, shield systems at maximum." Her crew, 142 men and women representing the best Earth had to offer, responded with efficient precision. Unlike the advanced species they were about to engage, humans had spent their entire history preparing for war, though they hadn't known it at the time. "And any vessels identified?" Admiral reported. "Lieutenant Commander Jackson, the ship's tactical officer, 17 capital-class ships surrounding the planet, another dozen support vessels in high orbit. Energy signatures match the intelligence we received from our long-range probes." Frost nodded. "And the defenders, nearly wiped out, ma'am. One command vessel remains, heavily damaged. The planet's surface shows multiple impact zones consistent with orbital bombardment." "Then we're not too late." Frost's eyes narrowed. "Activate the Mobius drive, combat pattern Delta." The Thunderchild shuddered as its revolutionary propulsion system engaged. Based on principles that violated what most of Earth's physicists had once considered immutable laws of nature, the Mobius drive created localized folds in space, time, allowing the vessel to effectively exist in multiple places simultaneously, if only for fractions of a second. To the Dominion fleet, it would appear as if the human vessel was teleporting erratically around the battlefield. "Target their command ship," Frost ordered. "Kinetic lances, full charge." The Thunderchild's main weapons weren't the energy-based systems favored by most spacefaring races. Humanity had taken a different approach. The kinetic lances were, in essence, advanced rail guns capable of accelerating projectiles to appreciable percentages of light speed. No shields yet developed could withstand such impacts, the energy equivalent of small nuclear detonations delivered with precision measured in meters. "Firing solution locked," Jackson confirmed. Fire! The Thunderchild shuddered slightly as its primary weapons discharged. On the tactical display, Frost watched as 3 hypervelocity projectiles crossed the void in less than a second, impacting the Dominion command vessel at precisely calculated points. They'll adapt quickly, Frost noted. Activate point defense grid and launch disruptor drones. Let's show them what else we brought to the party. On the bridge of his crippled vessel, Admiral Tarax watched in stunned disbelief as the Dominion command ship, a dreadnought-class vessel that had destroyed entire coalition battle groups, vanished in a flash of light and debris. "What manner of weapons are those?" he whispered to no one in particular. The strange ship was moving again, but in a way that defied conventional navigation. It seemed to blink in and out of existence, appearing briefly at different points around the battlefield. Each appearance was marked by the destruction of another Dominion vessel. "Admiral," his communications officer called out, "we're receiving a transmission from the unknown vessel." "Put it through," Trax ordered, still trying to process what he was witnessing. The view screen shifted to show an alien unlike any Trax had encountered in his long service. The being had no scales, no carapace, no protective exoskeleton, just soft-looking external tissue covered partially by what appeared to be artificial protection. Its face featured 2 forward-facing eyes, a curious protrusion in the center, and a lipid opening near the bottom that moved as it produced sounds. "This is Admiral Helena Frost of the United Earth ship Thunderchild," the alien said, its translator converting its sounds into standard galactic common. "We've detected your distress signal and have come to render assistance against the Dominion forces. Please hold position and prepare to receive evacuation shuttles for your wounded." "Tax's translator must be malfunctioning," came the reply. This primitive-looking being was addressing him as an equal, offering assistance, as if its single vessel could turn the tide of a battle that had destroyed his entire defense fleet. Yet even as he watched, the Thunderchild continued its impossible dance across space, systematically eliminating Dominion ships with weapons of terrifying power. "This is Admiral Tra of the Maraxian Defense Force," he responded cautiously. "Your assistance is unexpected. We were unaware your species had achieved interstellar capability." The alien, a human according to Trax's database, made a small facial movement that his cultural systems couldn't interpret. "We're full of surprises," Admiral Frost replied. "Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a battle to finish." Frost ended the communication, leaving Terra to watch as this newcomer to the galactic stage single-handedly accomplished what entire coalition battle fleets had failed to do: drive back the Void Dominion. When the battle ended, 37 minutes later, not a single Dominion vessel remained. The Thunderchild hovered in orbit over Maraxia, its brutal silhouette now that of a beacon of hope rather than a cause for alarm. Admiral Frost ordered medical teams and emergency supplies dispatched to the planet's surface, while engineering crews assisted with the damaged Maraxian command vessel. She then accepted Admiral Tra's invitation to meet aboard the Coalition liaison and station that had survived the attack in high orbit. "Your arrival was fortuitous," Tra said as they sat in the station's conference room. 3 other Coalition representatives had joined them: a crystalline Pellan ambassador, a methane-breathing Voltui diplomat, and a multibody Gaini strategic advisor. "We've been monitoring Dominion activity for some time," Frost explained. "Earth is still new to interstellar travel, but we've had observation probes deployed throughout this sector for nearly a decade." "Impossible," the Pellian ambassador interrupted, crystal facets flashing with skepticism. "Our sensors would have detected such devices." Frost smiled thinly. "With respect, Ambassador, if your sensors were capable of detecting our probes, you might have also detected the Dominion fleet before they destroyed your forces." The rebuke hung in the air for a moment before the Gaini advisor spoke through its primary body. "The human makes a valid point. Their technology clearly operates on principles we have not yet encountered, which brings us to the purpose of this meeting." Frost continued. "Earth is prepared to offer assistance against the Dominion threat. We have additional vessels under construction, and our scientists have developed technologies specifically designed to counter Dominion capabilities." "You have one ship," the Voltui diplomat gurgled through its translator. "Impressive as your victory here was, the Dominion controls thousands of worlds and millions of vessels." "For now, yes, we have one battleship," Frost acknowledged. "But humanity has something the Dominion doesn't." "And what is that?" Tra asked. Forged in battle. The Galactic Coalition Council chamber fell silent as the recording ended. 67 representatives from the Coalition's member species sat in stunned silence, having just witnessed the complete destruction of a Dominion attack fleet by a single human vessel. High Chancellor Vidian, his luminescent tendrils pulsing with agitation, turned to face Admiral Trax. Is this recording accurate? Unaltered? It is, Chancellor Tra confirmed. I witnessed the engagement personally. The human vessel, the Thunderchild, eliminated 29 Dominion warships in less than 40 minutes. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. For decades, the Void Dominion had expanded relentlessly, consuming world after world, assimilating or destroying all who opposed them. Coalition forces had managed only to slow their advance, never to stop it completely. And now these humans propose an alliance? Asked Representative Jalak of the Perxian Conclave, his exoskeleton clicking nervously. They offer their military expertise and technology in exchange for formal recognition and access to certain coalition resources. Tra explained. Admiral Frost has remained in the Maraxian system, providing protection while our evacuation efforts continue. One successful engagement, however impressive, does not prove these humans can stand against the full might of the Dominion, objected Ambassador Quill of the Centrian Republic. They have a single warship. The Dominion has millions. The Council's strategic advisor, a cybernetically enhanced fortune named Kos, stepped forward. Our analysis suggests the human vessel employs technologies we have never encountered. Their approach to warfare is unconventional, he meant, pressing the Chancellor, meaning most spacefaring civilizations develop along similar technological paths, energy weapons, deflector shields, faster-than-light travel. Based on established principles, the humans have taken different approaches entirely. Kos displayed schematics of the Thunderchild. Their primary weapons are kinetic-based. Their defensive systems utilize principles we barely understand, and their propulsion method appears to violate several laws of physics as we know them. How is this possible? Demanded Representative Jalak. They're newcomers to space travel, Admiral Tarax answered. According to Admiral Frost, humans devoted significant resources to warfare throughout their history. When they unified their world and looked to the stars, they didn't abandon this focus. They redirected it, preparing for threats they hadn't yet encountered. The council chamber erupted in overlapping conversations as representatives debated the implications. Chancellor Vidian raised a limb for silence. The question before us is not how the humans develop these capabilities, but whether an alliance with them serves the coalition's interests, he said. Admir, you've spent the most time with these humans. What is your assessment? Trax considered carefully before answering. They are unsettling, Chancellor. They think differently than any species I've encountered, but their actions at Maraxia saved countless lives, and their continued presence has prevented further Dominion attacks. He paused. I believe an alliance would be beneficial, but with clear boundaries and oversight. The humans possess military prowess we desperately need, but their potential for disruption should not be underestimated. Chancellor Vidian nodded slowly. Very well. We will dispatch a diplomatic delegation to meet with these humans and explore the possibility of formal cooperation. In the meantime, an alarm cut through the chamber and the central holographic display activated automatically. A coalition scout vessel appeared, heavily damaged. Emergency transmission from the Epsilon sector, announced the communications officer. The Dominion has launched a major offensive against the Arcturus system. 3 planetary colonies are under attack. The Council watched in horror as the scouts' footage showed dozens of Dominion capital ships descending on the defenseless worlds. Our nearest response fleet is 2 days away at maximum speed, Kellos reported grimly. Admiral Tra stepped forward. Chancellor, the Thunderchild is less than 6 hours from the Arcturus system. Chancellor Vidian's tendrils twisted in distress. Contact the humans. Request their assistance. Admiral Helena Frost reviewed the tactical data sent by the Coalition Council. The situation in the Arcturus system is grim. 3 habitable planets with a combined population of over 12 billion sentients, defended by a token security force wholly inadequate against the Dominion armada now bearing down on them. Thoughts? She asked, looking to her senior officers gathered in the Thunderchild Strategic Command Center. It's a trap, Admiral. The Dominion knows we intervened at Maraxia. They're counting on us to respond. Agreed, said Dr. Alyssa Chen, the ship's chief science officer. The Dominion operates with a hive consciousness. Every ship we destroyed at Marexia transmitted data back to their collective before being eliminated. They'll have analyzed our capabilities and adapted their strategies. Frost nodded. So they're expecting us. That doesn't mean we won't go. We'll be outnumbered at least 50-1, Vega pointed out. Even with the Mobius drive and our advanced weapon systems, those aren't good odds. Then we change the game, Frost replied. She manipulated the holographic display, highlighting specific points around the Arcturus system. The Dominion thinks they understand how we fight now. Let's show them they don't. She outlined her plan quickly. It was audacious, potentially reckless, and precisely what the Dominion wouldn't expect. That's extremely high risk, Admiral Vega said when she finished. High risk, high reward, Frost countered. The Dominion expects conventional tactics, even if our technology is unconventional. But humanity's greatest military advantage has always been our ability to adapt, to think differently. She looked around the table. I won't order anyone to participate in this operation. It's beyond our original mission parameters and could be considered an act of war rather than a defensive action. One by one, her officers nodded their acceptance. None declined. Very well, Frost said. Commander Vega, inform the Coalition Council we're en route to Arcturus. Dr. Chen, I need your team to reconfigure the Mobius drive for sustained operation. Lieutenant Commander Jackson, prepare the Raven drones for distributed deployment. As her officers departed to carry out their orders, Frost remained at the tactical display, studying the Dominion fleet positions. What she was planning went against conventional military doctrine, against the careful strategic thinking that had defined her career. But they weren't fighting a conventional enemy, and they weren't fighting with conventional weapons. They were fighting as humans always had, with ingenuity, adaptability, and a willingness to take risks that more established civilizations would consider insane.